Now it's time to talk science with Nano Girl, Dr. Michelle Dickinson. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim.
So we've had a couple of guys head up to space. Probably Bezos wins that one more spectacularly. Did you watch both of those launches?
I did watch them both, and I'm more of a Richard Branson fan, so I thought it was cool. I think it's cool. You know, there's been a lot of criticism if you look at how much greenhouse gas has been released from these things. But a lot of new things have been invented from us going to space, things that you might not have expected, like cordless power tools, for example, were invented for space. The Dustbuster, did you ever have a Dustbuster in the 80s?
I did have. What's one of those things, you know, it's a bit 1990s.
Wouldn't exist if we hadn't gone to space. So, you know, space travel does create some cool things.
But now we've got Mars talk with Elon Musk. He's obsessed with getting there.
Elon is obsessed with getting there, and he's putting a lot of money into it. And Mars is one of those interesting planets because we can see it, right? It's the one we probably relate to the most because in the night sky you can actually see it. And it's the first inner planet after Earth. And we always talk about, could we colonize Mars? What could we do with it? We actually know very little about Mars. And we're learning more. It's the one that we're sending lots of different things to. And one of the things we've sent to is NASA's InSight spacecraft, which landed and has a way of detecting waves, underground waves. So it's been doing some seismic energy experiments up there. And we, this week, and this is very exciting if you're into space, have now learned what the core of the planet of Mars is made up of.
Wow.
And we never knew this.
It blows me away what science could discover.
But also how little we knew. So we've only known about the core of the Earth and the core of the Moon, which is very exciting because it's very tiny.
Yeah.
And now we know about what is inside Mars.
How do they know that?
So they basically were measuring waves. So there are two types of waves, P waves and S waves. They're pressure waves and shear waves. And shear waves can't pass through liquid. So they're looking for, and wait for it. So on Earth, we have earthquakes.
Yeah.
On Mars, they're called Marsquakes.
Of course
they are waiting for Marsquakes to come along, and so there are no tectonic plates on Mars, and so unlike on Earth where you have this tectonic shift, they think these Marsquakes are caused by perhaps asteroids hitting the planet. But anyway, these little shakes are able to pick them up and then listen to the feedback of the wave as they bounce in and bounce out.
Mind-blowing.
And then they've been able to work out that the core of is very different than they expected to be. So Mars has a thicker crust than they predicted it was going to be. It has a thinner mantle, and it has a much larger core. And it's much less dense and more liquid than they expected it to be. And it doesn't have a magnetic core, which is the reason why you can't live on it. So I don't know if you know, but on Earth, our magnetic core is the thing that actually gives us an atmosphere and keeps us shielded from the sun, and is the reason why we're not a barren planet.
I thought that was gravity that gave it. Really? Oh my goodness.
So without our magnetic core, we're basically stuffed because it protects us from the solar winds, and it protects us from solar particles hitting the Earth and basically frying us all. Mars lost that as it cooled as a planet, and so that's why it's got a horrible ecosystem that we couldn't live on. So we've learned so many things about it.
When they say liquid, does that more likely be molten sort of?
Molten.
It's very, very hot liquid, not like...
Yeah, but a molten core, and it's still hot from 4.5 billion years ago, and which is kind of exciting. But yeah, so a molten liquid core. And I just think it's cool that we never knew this, and this week we did. And so there are 3 different papers in the journal Science that have come out because this is such massive. Over 40 huge scientists have been doing this research. And it allows us to learn about a different planet. It allows us to learn about sort of the how the planets formed over time and what happened when a planet cooled quicker than Earth, and therefore, you know, if there are other planets out there that could host life.
So Mars is older than Earth, isn't it, too? Is that right?
Apparently, not by, well, it's all the billions. I don't know.
Not by much. It's
fact.
Millions of years before the Earth, which would be is that a short period of time in sort of the...
Yeah. I mean, space is not my thing, so I'm not gonna be the person who talks about what that is in space time. But no, so it's a really interesting study because I assumed we knew more than we knew about all of the planets, and we don't know what's inside any of the planets, but now we know about what's inside Mars.
What do you make of the you know, the discussions around Mars? Maybe, you know, we could move there and colonize it and things like that. I sometimes wonder if that's just a great selling point for scientists to get funding because they just want to discover more about our solar system.
You've watched the movie Martian? That was a great movie. I think it's interesting that we think about other planets, you know, as a place to maybe go as a refuge. I think we've got a lot of work to do here on Earth, but I do think that when we do go to other planets and create research for that, we actually develop technologies that really can sort of accelerate some of the things that we could do to help Earth with our changing climate and some of the other challenges that we've got going on right now. So I'm not sure we're going to, well, I don't know, maybe Elon will throw enough money at that we can colonize Mars in our lifetime.
Although I did hear an interesting argument said that if we have the genius and technology that we could turn Mars into a habitable planet, it probably means that maybe we should look closer to home and save our one, which has probably got a few more things going for it at the moment.
It's not as sexy though, right? When you're like, I'm just going to save Earth. So saving Mars puts the money in, and then we'll probably just use it here on Earth. Excellent.
Hey, great to talk, Michelle. Oh, you're looking sporty today. You're off kite surfing or something.
For those of you not in the studio, I have a bikini on with a jumper because I'm about
She's got something on top of the bikini just to square that off.
Tim was like, "Why are you wearing a bikini?" I'm about to jump in the ocean and go for a kite surf because it's nice and windy here in Auckland today.
Excellent.